Yeah, well, not really, but I'm all right. I'm home. I saw both of them last.
Very top.
No, I didn't get her physically. I'm okay. Okay? Well, I know that the phone services are kind of sporadic, so.
Yeah, I told her.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yes, it is. Okay, well, tell everybody I'm okay. Bye.
Were you over there, or were you?
I was over here. I worked over here.
You were over here and you saw them both collapse?
I saw them both collapse.
Building or just the building? You see, it looks like the building is still standing. You see it on the side of that?
Oh, yeah.
What do you think? Everybody's saying it's a brick,
That's a shadow.
but it's really a good shadow. You know, it's like, it really looks like the building is just long.
No way that's a building.
It might
That's what, that's what the realization that keeps coming back to every once in a while.
So they still had the ticker tape along the wall. While the World Trade Center was burning. Like, oh my God, everybody's on the left.
People on the ferry
They have like years there.
lab at all, I can't get through. Yeah, neither can I. I mean, I try to call the lab, nothing, washing, nothing. I can't get to it with any of my friends, so just speak with anyone, tell them, okay, okay. Except for
It's been a long time. I knew there was a class.
You work there?
I used to report it.
Yes. I was helping this old lady.
Everyone was getting down.
Yes.
He said the majority of the people
Everybody,
got,
yeah.
the majority of the
And they
people
moved from this
escaped
way, or how-
Gateway Plaza.
Gateway.
Yeah, to the waterway, and then I
Yeah.
sent them through the buildings to go to the back to the promenade. So then when they all got to the promenade, then it was cool, but then the building exploded.
Second.
Or the second one collapsed. I sat there and watched both the planes hit the buildings. People were jumping out of the building. Like I seen at least a good 15 people jump out of the top floor.
My wife's on the second first.
Did she make it out all right?
You don't know if your wife made it out yet?
Yeah, I'm trying to check.
She's on which floor?
71st to One World Trade.
I
I'm
would
gonna check
assume
on that.
she did,
I had a
though.
call over here.
Because everybody was taking the exit B
Do you know where?
stairs.
Do you know where they went? They could be coming here, right?
Yeah, everyone,
Yeah, they supposed
all the
to,
boats was supposed to be
They're
coming.
coming to Harbor Side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Can you tell her what you've been through, what you saw this morning? Hang on.
I was sorting my mail, and I just seen a lot of stuff coming down, and it was a collision. The building was shaking. And they just said everybody evacuate the building. And everybody just left. I didn't know what happened then. But then I heard a plane hit, but then I found out it was a plane. I mean, I heard a helicopter, but I found out it was a plane. So we all just took the stairs, exit B stairs all the way down. And, you know, I was helping this lady down. So it wasn't nobody behind me, because me, her, and this next man, I forgot his name, we was the only ones behind until the firemen's came. And then, you know, they took over from there.
Which tower were you in?
One World Trade Center.
I don't know which one was the first one that was hit. I just know the one on the left was the one that was hit first. And when the plane hit it, it hit the top of it. Everybody ran towards Gateway where we are. So then everyone calms down. I run out of the complex and walk over to Liberty Street, look down the block, and the block where the mall is, where you come out onto the street, was covered with rubble. Then after that, then I'm clearing people off the sidewalk. You're seeing people jump out of the building. About a half hour between the first one and the second one, and the second plane hit the second building. Between the middle and the top, it curved off to the side. Then we got more people to the waterway, sent them to the waterway, and then like another maybe 20 to 25 minutes after that, structural collapse, and everyone ran to the waterway, and that was it. After that, it was just black smoke everywhere, all over the promenade, and then everyone walked from one end of the promenade to the next.
Did you hear an explosion before the collapse? Or
Before the collapse, it just it was like at the same time almost. It's like you immediately heard an explosion, boom, then a collapse.
Yeah.
So it was an explosion and a collapse, and then that was it.
And it was a fire like on a 80-something to the 90th floor.
That's what people were jumping out.
I'm
Tell
on
us how you got
68.
down.
68. I took the stairs all the way down.
Tell her.
I took the stairs all the way down on the 68th floor.
Was it clear?
Now, yes, at first it was. You know, a lot of people was coming down, but I let them go in front of me because, as I said, I was helping this lady down. And once everybody left, you know, it was just me, this other man, and this lady named Mary. We helped her down. The fireman took it from there, from the 6th floor. He said, I got her, you go ahead, follow the fireman. And that's what I did.
Were there a lot of people still in there when it collapsed?
No.
They
With
weren't?
my knowledge, no.
Tell her that.
No, there wasn't nobody in there besides the fireman.
So you think a lot of people got out before?
Yeah.
With the exception of the people who
yeah.
who are on the floors that the plane hit. With the exception of those people and the people who jumped out of the building because it was on fire. I think everybody else is all right. I heard there were a couple of injuries after all the smoke cleared, but I didn't hear of anything else other than the people who may have died in the initial
What
accident.
about the people above where the floor the plane hit? Were they able to get
I'm not even sure because I'm thinking from the way the fire was burning, they probably had no way to make it downstairs. And I think those were the people who were jumping out, the people who were above the floor.
I was on this building.
Can you describe for us what you saw? Or CBS?
I was watching the first building burn, and I saw the second plane crash into the tower. A little while later, I saw the tower go down. At that point, I got out of my apartment because it was coming right down the street.
Did you hear an explosion or anything before it collapsed? Or was it just...
A little bit, yeah. It sounded the rumble of the whole tower coming down. I was standing out my balcony. It might have gone through my windows. I don't know. I had to jump off the balcony and run into the hall.
Where were you when you saw the plane hit?
On my balcony.
Which is where, right across the street?
Yeah, just down the street from the Trade Center. Less than a 5-minute walk.
What else can you describe as far as before you left? What was it like over there?
Oh, it's nuts. Once the building went down, it was really crazy. I mean, there's a feet of soot on the ground. You couldn't go outside at first. There's too much crap in the air.
Hard to breathe.
Oh yeah, we had to give us gas masks, and it was still hard to breathe.
Did you see a lot of injured people?
No, not down Battery Park City. The explosion didn't quite hit down there. I mean, the air was just terrible, but not an explosion.
What's your name?
Patrick.
Please, we're gonna need this area clear. If you do not need medical attention or water, please clear the area.
We saw an explosion.
You can look at me.
Okay. First we saw a lot of paper coming. We heard a very loud sound, and we looked out a window. We saw a ton of paper start flying from the sky down, and then we started hearing some rumor about a plane hitting the building, and everybody thought it was an accident. And then we were all actually working on the stock exchange, and then we heard the second boom, which was much louder. And now we're right in front of the exchange. When that happens, glasses and everything start falling over. And I just got everybody to just walk in the building. It's much more safer inside than outside. It's pretty loud.
With the stock exchange?
Yeah, we're on the American Stock Exchange, so everybody's sort of in shock in the beginning. But when the second airplane hit it, and glasses and everything started flying from that building onto the street, it got really, really bad. And that's when we knew it was an accident, and everybody sort of got a little bit more panicky because we probably figured that the chance of 2 airplanes hitting a building is probably not good.
When the buildings actually collapsed, did you get out of testimony?
We're trying to get the people, first we try to keep everybody in the exchange from going outside because it was safer inside. But then the second time we decided that after the second explosion and the smoke started getting really, really thick, we started moving people out little by little. But we were on the floor of the stock exchange. And then when the building collapsed, that's when everything got really, really bad. And the dust started flying in through, the dust started coming in underneath the door. And then we decided to tell everybody just try to go as far away from the west side as possible, go to the east side and try to go up the FDR Drive, and that's what they were doing.
Thank you. What's your name?
Wayne Wu.
Can you talk to us real quick about CBS News? Just tell us what you saw.
Okay, if I talk?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Describe where, tell her
You
where
don't
you
even
were.
have to read it. Just look at me.
I live in Battery Park City. I was in the gym at my building, and I
heard a big explosion. I saw some debris, and then we went back upstairs and we saw all the stuff on television. And then we live on one of the top floors of our building, and all of a sudden everything went pitch black, and we ran out of the building into all the debris. You couldn't see anything; it looked like snow. And then we ran into another building, and this nice woman and her daughter totally took us in and helped us out. And now we're just trying to find her daughter, and hopefully she'll get here okay. I'm sure she's fine. But I know it's a terrible thing, but it just shows that the kindness and goodness of people come out, especially in times like that. So.
Where was your daughter, ma'am?
I don't know. She was in the apartment building.
Her daughter was helping everyone in the building. Down in the basement, they evacuated everyone because they said there might have been a gas leak. So everyone rushed out, and now we're just trying to find her daughter.
What building was that?
It was
one of the buildings
on Rector Place. I think it was.
They're now evacuating everyone on these police boats.
Yeah, the police are great. They're getting everyone out and everyone here, and just want to reassure people that there are people that are coming, and I think that the worst is sort of behind us over there. It's a mess over there, in all honesty. So.
Describe what you saw after the collapse, trying to get out?
I didn't see anything because I was on the Battery Park City side, so
when we were
didn't
outside
see anything.
After the collapse, it was just completely black and gray snow was coming down, and just beautiful people gave me a shirt because I ran out of my apartment without a shirt. And by the time I got to their apartment, I was covered probably in about a half an inch to an inch of soot, which was falling out of the sky. It was almost like completely covered. Doomsday.
Was there a sense of panic, or was it orderly, or how was the evacuation?
I think there was a sense of panic, but there were people there that were saying, get into buildings, you need to get into buildings, people directed to the basement. I really think that, the community of New York and Battery Park City looked out for each other, and, I just hope everyone makes it to safety.
Can I have your names?
Sure. It's Tracy and Jeff Schwartz. Dora.
Where?
I'm from Argentina. I come here to visit my daughter. I want to find her. I'm not letting you go.
Where was the last time you saw her, ma'am?
She was in our building.
She was helping people.
She was helping people.
We were in the
people, and then they evacuated everyone. So it was
you just lost her in the shop.
Yeah. Little chaos. Everybody running out.
I saw the whole thing.
You did.
You should look at me. I'm sorry.
Look at you?
Yeah. You can just you can describe what you saw.
I was looking out my window when I heard an explosion and saw a big piece of the south face of the #1 World Trade Center come flying off. A couple of blocks, land on the ground, explode and fire. Cars caught fire. Then, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes later, happened to be looking up again at what was going on and saw the second trade tower explode. A lot of flames coming out of the north face that time, and also out of the south. And then, seems like just a minute later, that second tower was tottering barely to the east and dropped. Just fell straight down, huge cloud of dust, and really sad scene, something I never thought I'd see.
Did it seem like a secondary explosion, or was it from the impact, do you think? Was it fatigue that caused the building to collapse?
Well, I'm hardly the expert, but it appeared that it was falling into a cavity on the east side, as if as if it structurally had been damaged, and it was dropping into that as opposed to any other explosions. Though who knows?
What was it seem like on the ground when you were trying to?
Where I was, remarkably calm, until that huge dust cloud came and people began running away. I mean, obviously there are some people who panicked a lot, but for the most part, people were relatively calm and obeying orders and trying to figure out where to go. That was the most confusing part. Is this dust cloud gathered all around us. There'd been any number of explosions already, and it wasn't clear to anybody what we should do except try and be safe wherever that was.
We were told that there were people jumping out of the building. Did you see anything like that?
I can't say whether people were jumping. I definitely saw several people falling from very high in World Trade Center #1. tumbling over and over. It was a very sad sight.
Can you tell me that again? Tell me what you saw.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Southward.
I saw lots of people. I'd say lots. I saw half a dozen or more people falling from the high heights of the burning #1 World Trade Center, and don't know whether they jumped, whether they were blown out, but do know that pretty awful.
Your name, sir?
My name? Howard Hoffman.
Another bomb.
Yeah, I was standing in the park, and the guy just came straight across the river and just dove right into the building. I mean, it was unbelievable. People just ran back down Broadway. We've been in the exchange since. They wouldn't let us out until it, sort of stabilized.
Did you see the collapse?
Yes. No, we saw it on TV. We were inside. We saw it on live TV because we were inside, but they wouldn't let us out.
The first one hit, we didn't even really know, to be honest with you. And
we heard the explosion, the first one.
And the second one rocked.
I walked up the Broadway with another guy.
Quite a nice radius, and we were in a building a couple blocks away, and you could feel it.
Debris falling all over the place.
And then when the buildings collapsed, we were actually upstairs in the stock exchange, and they started telling us to evacuate. We had to run down the stairs and stayed in the basement level.
What was it like on the streets when you finally got out?
Well, in fact, it's desolate.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Soot, papers.
It's burned pieces of
the building.
Yeah, you can't even tell you. It's all white. It looks like fake snow from a movie, like that they
Tell me that again, because I didn't. Just describe what you saw when you came out.
Charred pieces of building, insulation, paper. There was ash and soot all over the ground. It looked like it was decorated for a movie or some sort. It was just unbelievable.
Yeah, police and fire all over the place. I mean, they were going. I feel sorry for the poor people over there.
Difficult
They're
to
working
see
there.
in the
Those poor guys that were going in to get them out, and they didn't know what hit them. I guess. But when that thing collapsed, I feel sorry for those guys.
The air quality in the building that we were in was horrible, pretty bad as well. We were in there for, from 9:30 on, 2.5 hours, 3
Did you see
hours.
a lot of injured
Personally, no. We saw a lot of people that were injured from the street that were coming in due to smoke, and that. Fortunately for myself, thank God, I didn't see anybody who was injured any worse. But
yeah, we couldn't get back up to Broadway. Up that way. We couldn't go that way at all. We exited. We walked east. They wouldn't let us go. They told us don't even go the other way. You don't want to see what's up there.
I wasn't there for the first time when the attack happened there, but it shook like nothing I ever felt in my life. And it was an earthquake.
The whole building shook.
And you're talking 3-4 blocks away.
The whole exchange shook. You could feel the exchange just shake. It's unbelievable.
What's your name?
Fred Lyons.
James McPeak.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
Unbelievable. It's terrible. I mean, all smoke. We saw the second plane crash right into the second building. I was at 55 Water, and it was just unbelievable. So,
Where were you when the buildings collapsed? Were you
inside the 55 Water, and we could see everything from the windows. We saw the second building crash right into it. It was, I mean, it was planned that it was going in there. It's just awful. It's sad.
She's like freaking out. I'm gonna wash my hands.
They weren't ready to evacuate. You okay? Yeah, wait, my God. You came on the boat?
Were you in the towers? No. Were you in the towers? Where were you?
I was at the stock exchange.
Okay. So that's like, what, 3 blocks?
It's about 8 blocks.
8 blocks.
Wall Street and Broad.
So you were one of the people evacuated?
Yeah.
No damage to your building?
A lot of smoke, a lot of soot, maybe a quarter-inch of soot on all the floors.
Where were you when the second tower went down?
On the 20th floor of 30 Broad Street.
Did you see it?
No, but I felt it, and the lights flickered. And then I went to the television. I saw what happened. What happened after that is the soot got so thick that you couldn't see, an inch out the window maybe for about 15 minutes. And that's, when I got afraid that I might suffocate. And it took about a half an hour for that to clear. And then, in the interim, the second one went down. The same thing happened all over again.
How did you get out? Did the fire department, rescue personnel come into your building, or did you just know to get out?
No, I knew to stay in there because the air was so bad you couldn't breathe it. So I stayed in there for like 4 hours because the air was really bad.
It took that long for all of the soot and smoke to clear, and
Look
it's
at
still
it.
there.
It's really bad.
What's your name, please?
Chris.
Chris?
Forbes.
Last name?
Forbes, F-O-R-B-E-S.
Where do you live?
Short Hills.
And what do you do for a living?
I'm a stockbroker.
What company?
Smith Jacobs.
One more question. When you saw the news about the plane,
at first I thought that it was an accident, that a 767 hit the World Trade by accident. But when the second one hit 18 minutes later, I knew it was a terrorist.
but you still stayed at work.
Well, you had no choice because my brother actually tried to leave, but the smoke was so thick that you couldn't see anything, so he came back.
And this was before the towers collapsed?
No, this was after the towers.
After the towers collapsed. What are your thoughts now?
I don't know if it's World War III or what it is. I mean, we don't know who did this, do we? I don't know. I mean, I think you have to heighten security, and I think it's going to take a few days for it all to sink in. But when you go to downtown Manhattan, you know things are never going to be the same.
Good luck to you, Mr. Forbes.
Thanks.
Thank you. Oh, one more question. Number, please, a home number or cell or whatever.
973?
Yeah.
218 1031.
You married?
Yeah.
Did you call your wife? Were you able to get through?
You know what? The phones were down for like 3 hours, but I finally got through to her.
She must have been quite relieved to hear from you.
She was. She was. Thanks.
I was at 35 Broad Street.
How far is that from World Trade?
It's pretty close.
What did you see? What did you hear?
Well, around 9 o'clock, I was in the conference room, and I heard an explosion, and I heard screaming in our office building. So I went to the window, and I looked out the window, and I saw the gaping hole in the south tower, and flames and smoke. And then at the same time, somebody had said that the other tower had gotten hit as well. So it was just chaos.
Did you see the towers collapse?
I was on the ground by the time that happened, and it was a cloud of dust, so you couldn't see, but you could certainly hear it. And then it was like a Mount St. Helens kind of an effect with the dust was so thick you couldn't see. You couldn't breathe. Your eyes were burning. It was just devastation.
What did you do to come through that smoke?
Well, I put this up to my face so I could breathe, and I walked east towards the East River, and then I headed north towards Midtown, and I just kept walking.
Was there ever a moment when you thought you weren't going to make it?
At one point, when I heard the explosion, I guess the building collapsing, or I also heard another airplane, I thought, flying over, and people were running and screaming in the street. It was pretty bad.
I see you have a bag.
Yeah.
This from your office?
Well, yeah, I'm a court reporter.
Okay, so you grabbed this and headed right out?
Yeah.
Did everyone in your office leave at the same time, or did some of you leave at different points?
Well, they gave us the word that we had to evacuate the building, and people pretty much were heeding the warning. grabbing their things and running.
Were you down here in, for the first explosion of the World Trade Center back in 92, 93?
I was in Manhattan, but I wasn't downtown. Yeah.
But you were here at the time. Did you ever think that you would, I mean, see something like this again?
I thought I would never see something like this again. I was fairly confident after that I would never see something like this again. And just, there's no words, Randall.
Have you managed to reach your family?
Yeah.